256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
TV. I am Joe Hunk. He is John Abraham.
And you sound very far away from the mic.
Why am I way?
Which mic?
I don't know.
Now you're good. Now you're good. See, you were thinking that you were on mic 3, but
yeah,
that's just not the case.
No, here's what happened is when I was bringing everything into the room, it's, you know how whenever you bring groceries into the house, you want to do it all in one carry.
Yeah.
That's how I bring everything into the studio. So I'd actually dropped some things on top of the board, and I thought that I had fixed everything that I had dropped on the board, but I did not. And so apparently one button was still muted in there. So let's flip it reverse. Let's try this again. Good morning. Welcome into the Blitz. I am Joe Hunk. He is John Abraham on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester, as you listen in Winchester, as I just said, and WZZN TV. But no matter where you are listening, North Alabama, South Tennessee, we are always brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up, unlike all of my brain cells, because whenever I get the flip over from Talking Ball show to our show, Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like I'm ahead of the game. I feel like I've got everything set in stone, ready to go. The stream's looking good, of course, over on WZZN TV. Go and subscribe to that bad boy. And then the show actually starts. And I'm just like, why didn't I throw some more spots? Why didn't I give myself some more time? And also for you, why didn't I make sure everything was correct beforehand? But regardless of that.
Look, part of that is 1,000% on me. I take full blame for that because,
well, yeah, you might have queued up the wrong mic, but that's not all your fault, Joe.
I should have paid attention to that because, again, as somebody that will turn around and do Tom's show right after this, it's my job to do all those things. And I also understand how hectic it is in between the two shows.
You have a flipping hour. You have an hour before Tom's show.
No,
and I know you do a lot in between, but still.
Yeah, no, because especially on a day like today, where we are going to have the Havoc Hour coming up tonight at 6:00. Over at Zambrewski's inside of the Iceplex. Look, and if you have not been there, first off, we also bring tickets that we are giving away as well, so that you can win some tickets, because it's not just for season ticket holders, which there are a lot of season ticket holders that do come. There are a lot of fans that show up that do not have season tickets to get autographs and everything like that with some of the players. And one of the players that I mentioned that we have not had on the Havoc Hour, we are going to be having on today. Yes, it is.
Is it just one guy?
No. It's two. But whenever there was a point in time during that 8-1 blowout, that Moulton and I were talking, and we started going over the players that had not been a part of the Havoc Hour. And the only reason I was able to even pick them out was because I was standing behind the bench at that point in time with Moulton and I talking. Because again, at that point, no point actually watching the game. And I'm literally going down the bench, and I'm like, we've had him. We've had him. So I got to one and I said, wait a second, we have not had him yet. And we're going to have two. One of them is Cameron Cervoni.
Okay.
So we haven't had Cervoni on just yet.
I'm not going to get on to you for pronouncing any of these guys' names wrong.
No, and I always feel bad because he just got signed with the team maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So when you're looking for these names, you're looking for something new. You're looking for something you haven't seen before all season long. You get Cervoni.
Yeah, and I get Cervoni. So that was and so I'm going to learn how to say that as we go throughout it, because even on the broadcast, I even go, and then we get the Bulldog, Charlie Risk, which I have been looking forward to. And you know what? Out of all the players that we have and haven't really had on the Havoc Hour, Ruffin was different last week because Ruffin and I stood beside each other after he had gotten hurt and all over into the trash can.
Yeah, threw up everywhere.
Yeah, by the,
is that what you're trying to say? You cut that off. I just wanted to clarify it for the people.
Yeah, for anybody that hasn't seen.
Hopefully they're not eating something while you're driving to work.
It is. Well, I mean, heck, we told this story while people were eating at Zambrewski's.
And they loved it. I mean, they were cheering.
Weird as it is, but hey. And
so, hockey fans were talking about, Joe.
But when we were doing it, we were telling the story about this. He and I kind of hung out just a little bit behind the bench because he'd been sick. So we had a little bit of some conversation. Charlie and I have never really talked, but we always bump nuts every single time we see each other. Don't know why.
Good start to a relationship.
It was like after a game, he's coming off the ice. I'm on the ice because I'm about to interview the first star. Bump nuts. But again, like the other guys I do it with, I've actually like sat down and talked to. So he and I already have a relationship. And speaking of relationships right now, you can't hear it. You cannot hear it. I'm getting a phone call.
All right. It's a number, so you don't have a name for that number.
No. And this started happening yesterday at about 3:22 yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
Because in our line of work, we have our own health insurance. And so you're still on your parents probably because you're so young.
I have my own health insurance, Joe.
All right, but we have our own health insurance.
You have health insurance with the business?
So when I was in Nashville, I got it under the company because it was a massive corporation. Here, we're very small and everybody has their own insurance. Totally understandable.
Okay. All right.
But my insurance just ran out because I'm still on it from where I used to work because they gave me like an extra 6 months or something like that. And so my wife yesterday afternoon signed me up on one of these. Hey, I would like to receive a free quote on health insurance. She went through one of those websites that you go through. I stopped counting last night at 45.
Damn.
But I have already received 7 more this morning.
Jeez, they're trying to get you. They're trying to reel you in, Joe.
You can't see the numbers, obviously. It's the reason why I'm showing them on screen. But let me scroll down. You see all this red right here?
That's a crazy
all
amount.
of that? You see all of that red? Those are all different insurance companies calling me. And the reason I know that she did this at 3:22 p.m. yesterday, because between the time that I left this building at 3:25 and went over to Full Moon with Steve to hand him something from the radio station, I received 15 phone calls. Full Moon is literally 100 yards away from us.
It is. It's very close, actually.
I have received over 50 phone calls in the last 12 hours from health insurance places because my wife signed me up for this.
Well, Joe, this is where you're going wrong. Did you not even think about sending a messenger pigeon?
What are you talking about?
So you don't get the spam calls. You send a messenger pigeon because they don't afford pigeons like they do calls. They send one pigeon back to you, and it's got
I want to know if you're serious or not.
It's got the quote. The pigeon comes back with the quote. I don't know if they do it here in Alabama, here in Huntsville.
I don't know if they do it anywhere in the 21st century. What are you talking about?
How would you know if you didn't try it? All I know is you're getting spam calls because you didn't send the pigeon out. Regardless of that, I do have my own insurance, and I don't have to worry about it because I do send it via pigeon.
There was seriously about 10 seconds that I thought you were for real. There really was. And I was going, did John figure out a way to stop all of this? Like, did he do this? Because I was actually going to really applaud you. I really wanted to know.
Oh, Joe.
Because you know what?
I'm a villain, bro.
Well, no, because not only do I have my phone, but my watch is obviously connected to my phone. So not only is my phone going off, my wrist is going off. It's popping up on my iPad, every bit of it.
I broke the system. That's all I'm saying. I got out of the system.
No, you went back to 1824.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
I mean, what? You're like Aladdin over here trying to
get a monkey. He had a monkey.
Actually, I would totally do that.
That would be sick. Though I hear monkeys are really annoying to take care of.
Yes.
Regardless of that, not only.
I'm saying this only to say if you really want to piss somebody off or somebody's pissed you off in your life, sign them up for the free health insurance quote.
Yeah, just to bring it fully.
It literally will annoy them to no end.
Well, you either do that or you do an amazing performance at the Super Bowl.
That's
the other way.
Well, that too. So what you're saying is I should actually go out, create an entire album blasting somebody, and then go on to the Super Bowl, perform it, and then as I'm walking right past the camera, just look at it and say, "Hey, wife, this is for you."
The song is all about because
you like health
tied
insurance.
you up for health insurance.
You're about to need some dental because we're about to knock them teeth out.
Okay,
that's what you're saying?
okay. Well, that's your wife we're talking about.
No, that's the wife we're
right?
talking about.
Come
We're
on,
totally
take it
kidding.
easy.
I was trying to rap. It didn't work out.
Regardless of
But
that, Joe,
it's
we got a lot of
with the lyrics. Knock the teeth out with the lyrics.
It sounds like it could have been something, but maybe not that context.
But no, this is that was happening right now as I was sitting, and it totally distracted me from what we were discussing because this has not stopped over the last 18 hours now.
So sorry
12 hours.
So sorry to hear that. Joe,
I was sitting beside her and I would look at her and I would just give her that look, that look of, are you kidding me? And she would go, you're getting another call, aren't you? And I'm like, what do you think? And I would show her my watch and she just went, I'm sorry. I thought I was trying to help. No.
She shot the first shot and that's what started the war.
Basically now this is a rap battle.
Yes.
Okay. So now I've got to figure out if I'm going to be Drake or Kendrick Lamar. I want to be Kendrick Lamar, but at the same time, if I win the rap battle, I might also lose the war.
That is true.
See, so this isn't a Lamar and Kendrick Lamar and Drake thing.
It's your own thing. That's that's the story.
Yeah.
That's the whole story.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, Joe, we do have a lot of sports to get into today, whether we're talking about the college basketball that is going down tonight, which you are able to listen to on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Of course, the big matchup that we're focusing on, Alabama versus Texas. Obviously, it's not that same type of crazy power, Joe, we're talking about when we think of what's coming up this weekend in the form of Alabama versus, of course, Auburn, which a lot of people are still saying a lot more than just me. The Iron Bowl of the hardwood.
You know what? There's also a lot of people in this country that are still saying that Super Bowl halftime show was crap. And the ones that actually know everything about it was like, that is one of the most epic things that has ever happened in music.
That was a real life telenovela,
like
in my opinion.
That literally was like the last and final shot of a war.
No, it very much was.
Okay, like that is what that was.
Yeah.
And in this, people that don't know and just will be like, oh, it's Alabama Auburn, we're gonna call it that. No, because you're also then disrespecting the actual game that does take place in November.
That game disrespects itself most of the time.
Well, it does, because one of the teams is garbage because they have an idiot that has. Maybe I should do a rap battle with him.
There you go.
Maybe that's what it is.
Because you can knock I don't want to throw out any threats. Come on the radio.
No, I'm not saying that, but maybe that's the rap battle that I need to get into. As somebody that knows nothing about rap battles outside of what I've seen over the last year between those two artists, well, and Tupac and Biggie. But again, going from those, which one of them the first one ended really bad. So we're not. No. I'm just saying, if we're talking about somebody that I know a lot that I can diss, 1,000% could be Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
1,000%.
And at the same time, you might have some people that help you out because, of course, if you saw this, DJ Durkin also getting an extension to continue being the defense coordinator. I want to know your feelings about this, but not just yet.
Yeah, can we hold off on that?
Not just yet.
I've been doing a lot of research on this since I found out.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very, very confused.
I don't know why you are too confused. I feel like the defense was the one, shining point of this really disappointing Auburn team.
No, but it was basically it was just not the smelliest part of the turd.
I guess you're right.
It was just not the smelliest
top
part.
50. That's something that you can't say for most of the offensive statistics.
Okay, can we please go to break before I start going into this? Because you just said something that was about to be a trigger,
but
I don't need to be triggered.
I will remind the people that they can call into the show. We do have one guest today, and we will get to that. Eric Henry from Horns 247 will be joining the show in the second hour. But phone lines open to you. 256-576-9777. is the number to get in.
Is it weird to say the number one team in the country plays tonight against Texas and the number one team in the country tonight plays against Vanderbilt? Because that's true. Both are true. Continue on the Blitz.
In some ways.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Buckhorn Youth Sports was created in 2018 to provide kids in our community the ability to compete at every sport possible. We offer football, flag and tackle, cheer, volleyball, wrestling, basketball, baseball, and softball. You can find us on Facebook at Buckhorn Youth Sports, where we prepare the future. Buckhorn Youth Sports is a proud supporter of Buckhorn High School football. Go Bucks!
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Rain's going to stick with us as we head into the overnight and into Wednesday morning. Allow yourself a couple of extra minutes as you head out the door for work on Wednesday morning. We drop into the mid and upper 40s. Temperature's going to be a little bit warmer Wednesday afternoon. We're also going to hold on to the rain across the Tennessee Valley. We climb into the upper 50s and lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight early into your Thursday morning. Rain's going to begin to slow down a little bit as we head into Thursday afternoon. A mostly cloudy sky. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship Game,
this was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hello and welcome back in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight of sports talk and goofs and gaffs, of course, with the Blitz boys. Appreciate you guys joining us as we get into the phone lines, get into the conversations. I brought up this to you, Joe, and I know you probably want to hold off on it, but it's also for the listeners as well. DJ Durkin, of course, getting the extension for the Tigers, for Auburn. For me, Joe, I look at it as this is the best part of an Auburn team that, of course, has been struggling lately. Goes into the offseason, needs to make some adjustments. You know, continue on with a guy that you know well to 2027. And I think focus on building up the offense as well as the play calling in general.
I think the part that confuses me is the pay raise of not just doubling the amount of money you make per year, but also like adding about $400,000 more dollars onto it. That's the part I don't get.
Yeah, he's the second highest paid assistant coach now in college football.
And what did you say? His scoring defense was one of the top 30 in the country.
Overall defense was, I think, 31, and Georgia's was just above that at 30.
So the reason why I'm confused is because it was, I want to say 31, but his total defense was also 9th in the SEC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the SEC.
Which is the reason why I'm confused, because I don't care if you're in the top 25 in the country if you're still like 10th in your own
and you
conference.
make a wonderful point, because a majority of the games is against the SEC.
Well, and that's where the confusion lies in this is even in the article that AL.com put out, was like he had like a top 27 scoring defense. Yes, you are right. Statistically, it was also 8th in the SEC. So I don't care what it was in the country if it's not near the top of the SEC. Saying you're top 27 in the country and you're number 1 in the WAC, that's one thing. But saying that you're top 27 in the country and you're 8th in the SEC, not as sexy. It's also like whenever we have National Signing Day, like the one that in December, not the one that just passed that nobody even thought about.
Yeah.
It's like, Vanderbilt had a top 30 recruiting class. Yeah, well, they were also like 14th in their own conference. So what does that matter? Which I just threw those numbers out. I don't really know what Vanderbilt's recruiting class was. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter if you're in the top 30 or 25 if you're also either in the direct center or the bottom half of your conference.
Yeah, and you make a point right there. I mean, Vanderbilt 2 years ago was one of those teams that you could see at the top of the stats where they throw the ball a lot, but of course, they're not a good team. Nowadays, of course, the rhetoric has changed a little bit, but they're not really sitting atop the top of the stat board, whereas their team record shows that they are having some progress. But, I mean, this is an Auburn team that was able to hold quite a few SEC squads under 30 points. I don't know if that's good or bad, honestly.
No, it's amazing compared to how many times that Auburn's offense lost the football inside their own side of the field.
That is true. But at the same time, this is a league that is just hell-bent on scoring, I would say, under 50 points combined with the team. So holding a team under 30 in the SEC, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
Look, and here's where I'm paying attention, and I understand the scoring defense was, top 27, whatever. It was only like it was barely even a point better than what it was last year, 2 years ago, I should say, in 2023 before he was here, and it really wasn't even that. It was like 0.8 points better than what they were in 2023, and they've even gave up maybe fewer rushing touchdowns this year compared to 2023, but the passing touchdowns. All right, let me flip that because I'm got so many numbers in front of me that I've already wrote down.
It's understandable.
They gave up more rushing touchdowns in 2024 than what they did in 2023, but they gave up fewer passing touchdowns in 2024 than what they did in 2023, but it's still balanced out to basically the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, which would you rather get scored on, a pass or a touchdown? There comes another one. Joe's got another call from a Medicare.
And again, it doesn't matter how they cross over the goal line. They're crossing over the goal line. I don't care if it's running the football, passing the football, handing it off to your offensive lineman and letting him barrel roll into it. I don't care. They're still getting 6 points. So what does it matter how it happened?
No.
Also, turnover wise, which to me is a massive stat when it comes to how much your defense is improving, they were worse this year than what they were last year. So again, if I did subpar or the basic amount of work that the person in front of me was doing, do I deserve a 101% pay raise?
Maybe if you got the right pieces in place.
That's where I'm so confused. Like that's the part. The offense was garbage. The defense basically stayed the same from 2023 to 2024, and he's getting a pay raise for that. I don't get it. You still only had like 4 guys get drafted, and none of them was before the 3rd day. Like nobody on NFL Network even heard your name getting called because they were already doing all the breakdowns of everybody the pick. And it's like, oh, look, his name's now going across the bottom of the screen. You were those guys. Your guy wasn't the, let's have a camera following him around every single second that he does. And, oh, look, he went into the bathroom now. He's been there for 5 minutes. I think it's a number 2 and not a number 1. It wasn't one of those. It was, oh, hey, I think they spelled my name wrong. Oh, nope, never mind. It's off the screen now.
256-576-97.7 is the number to get in if you got any opinions on DJ Durkin and, of course, his extension with the Auburn Tigers, of course, defensive coordinator. But we do have to segue into the phone lines because we got to get into some college basketball as that's going to rally on a majority of the show. We got Jeff from the Borough. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Borough.
I'm good. I know y'all like to memorize those football stats. Man, anybody going. Man, what is your problem, man? You gonna follow somebody around in the bathroom? You got a real good life, don't you, Mr. Hunk? You mohawk.
I do.
Follow somebody around.
I like paying attention to crap. That's why I watch Lexington.
Yeah, that's why you're crap.
Sports.
You're crap. Yourself. But ain't nobody worried about no. You memorize some stats, man. Auburn's terrible. 22 and 30 the last 4 years. He got a raise, and ain't nothing you can do about it. He got a raise, nothing you can do. But holler and scream no like you want to. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
I
it's
said,
like Rick Barnesman. It's like when they went down there and knocked with Joe Button basketball without no point guard. Couldn't do nothing about that neither. So we got Jackson Robinson's out tonight. He ain't playing, but we got Butler back, so we'll play a little bit of defense tonight. Hopefully, we can hold y'all back 60 or 50.
That's different than the rest of the season.
Oklahoma Saturday. Y'all shoot 44, 45. Get y'all finally make some threes or 2 inside. And who's this? The guy, either he's pretty good. All he does is drive the basket. He can't shoot either, so he can't shoot no ball game.
Does he make it?
And also, I heard somebody yesterday on Twitter talking about the Auburn, Alabama top 25. Said it was voter fraud. Auburn's still number 1. So what do y'all think about that?
No, I actually am asking the same question. I don't understand how they're still number 1.
Well, I mean,
I genuinely don't.
I mean, I think you two voted number 1 anyway. So both y'all did just 1-2 matchup. But
I thought I was in Alabama.
And it's played on ESPN News. Y'all just deal with young fans to watch. But you better frame this one, baby. This ain't gonna happen ever again. Y'all 1-2 in basketball. You better frame it.
I mean,
frame good up there. Frame real good up.
It's awesome that it's happening in the first place.
On that 977 press conference, and y'all go over to Tennessee Valley. I better frame it up there. And maybe I'm wrong frame Huntsville. Ain't nobody worried about that neither. Y'all ain't gonna have a good day.
Good stuff from Jeff. You know damn well though we should get a picture
I'm so confused
from the game, all right, and actually have it framed, and it might have a little coin in it, and it might be painted by a certain someone, because we have some of those types of things from games that are this big of a deal.
Well, no, this game is going to be the whole part. First off, before we get into the actual game itself, is I already thought that Auburn had screwed this thing up on Saturday when they lost to Florida. That's why I was so annoyed yesterday with it.
I don't think so whatsoever.
Yes.
But continue, Joe.
But no, I thought, and then when Alabama won, I thought, okay, wait a second. It's still going to be a 1 versus 3. It's just going to be flipped.
Well, they almost lost.
They did almost lost. I mean, lose. They almost lost.
18-point lead, and then at the end of the game, just give it to Alabama to where they're going to make you have a heart attack.
Look, it's not everything to Arkansas as far as coming back. They still had numerous opportunities to take a lead before they could even say, yeah, that doesn't count. That doesn't matter. Like all this. Even with the final free throw that was lost that went off of the defender's leg, you had another opportunity to get the ball so that you could have tried to beat Alabama in that game. So that's still on Arkansas that they lost the basketball game. I know they came back. I know they made it close. And I don't know if the AP voters are actually using that against Alabama because they just look at this as saying, oh, wait a second. This is a Alabama team that went to Arkansas that's still unranked and at the bottom of the SEC that they struggled against. And so Auburn lost to a top 6 team. So that's a little bit different. Like, I don't know if that was a determining factor. But again, Arkansas just beat Texas, who Alabama is going to play tonight, and they just beat Kentucky at Rupp.
Yeah, and I thought going into this game that I feel like
playing great.
We weren't talking enough about this Arkansas team going into the matchup just because of the lackluster performance at the beginning, where they were going 0-6, I believe, without winning in the SEC. But they definitely did surprise, and I'm glad they lived up to a little bit of the hype that they were riding on in these last few weeks. But I will say, Texas has been on the downspin lately.
No, they
really have. And they didn't start too well in the SEC to really, even have that type of up. Their first win was against, of course, the Big 12 Oklahoma Sooners. So it was kind of looking like a rough start. They got their footing for a second, and then they were able to get it going. Joe, you talk about Alabama being number one and why Auburn is still number one. And I look at it like this. Auburn lost their first game to an SEC opponent, and it was a top-ranked Florida team. That's why I still think that Auburn deserves to be at that number one spot for their fourth week in a row.
Well, and I was frustrated because, again, I never want to lose any game.
I understand.
I don't want to lose any game.
It's me and Rally.
It's so, yeah, and it's me and,
You got a new patch you got to show us.
I do have a new patch.
Continue
I put it on this morning.
Continue.
And so, look, I never want to lose in anything. So, yes, I understand in basketball, you're going to lose games. You're going to lose one or two and everything. Like, it happens. It's rare for the good teams, but when it does happen, it still angers you. And especially when you're leading up to a game of this magnitude that we basically been looking forward to for 2 or 3 weeks. I understand that we're going to get a second one. I understand that they're going to have one in Alabama. They're going to have one in Auburn. I get it, but it doesn't mean that I don't want both of them to be a 1-2, 1-3 matchup. Like, this is not only for the number one spot in the nation, is also for the number one seed in the SEC basketball tournament. So instead of having to play in 4 games over 3 days, you basically only have to play 2. It's kind of a nice gig.
Yeah.
And so, it's a much bigger deal, but I don't like to lose. And so when Auburn lost, and it's a week before this big matchup that I know that we're all looking forward to, it frustrated me. And then I look and I still go, why are they number one? Like, you lose, normally you drop a spot.
They haven't lost enough games, Joe.
I guess not.
They still started off the season so strong that it was able to hold up for at least another week. I will say, though, Alabama is a big time underdog in this matchup at home.
Why? In
some ways.
I was gonna say why
against Auburn, and that's looking forward.
It's looking forward big time because we still have Alabama, Texas, and look. They shouldn't be losing tonight. Texas doesn't have an offense that's going to be able to play well. The problem is Alabama, regardless as to where they're ranked in the country, still has the worst defense in the SEC.
Yeah. I do think, though, that we have this Alabama team does have more talent. I think it is a deeper squad than Auburn. But again, that's looking forward.
Yeah.
And also kind of like what Jeff was saying, we might not see this again. We might see this before the season's over. I mean, come on now. We might still see a top 5 matchup between Alabama and Auburn. Who knows? It could be a 1 versus 2.
It could be. Let's go to the phone lines. 256-576-977. Jason, welcome in to the Blitz. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm great. I hope y'all are doing well also.
Absolutely, sir. No, we are.
Hey, I was listening to Jeff a while ago. Did Auburn not face Kentucky this year and have a better record?
Don't use
facts. You can't question Jeff.
Don't use facts. Okay.
I mean, Auburn was 5-7. Kentucky and Kentucky's playground, right?
Yes, and I mean it was, and that's where the facts kind of get in the way with the argument a lot of times with him. In this, it was not Auburn that played Kentucky. It was Alabama that beat Kentucky because Auburn hasn't played Kentucky yet. They won't play them for about another couple of weeks, I believe. But Alabama was the one that went up to Lexington and they won 102-97.
Right. They put 3 digits on Kentucky.
Yeah. And this is where I was getting to, because his phrase in what he said at some point in time in that is, hey, we're going to have, somebody back and we're going to play a little bit better defense. And I'm like, dude, you haven't played defense all season. I mean,
Right.
again, the only defense that is worse than Kentucky's in the SEC right now is Alabama's. That's it. I mean, because Kentucky's given up almost 77 points a game and Alabama's given up almost 79 points a game. But that's the only difference, like, in this. So you're playing defense. You haven't done that all year.
These were similar teams last year, Kentucky and Alabama, but I think this year Alabama has definitely taken that step forward. So there's no comparison with those teams, and I don't know. I think he's just getting onto Auburn because they finally lost the game.
Yeah, that's what it was. And he still doesn't like Rick Barnes for some reason. I don't know.
He don't know what he's talking about.
I was confused for a lot of it.
You know why I could not be a Kentucky fan? They took me off the list.
Why is that?
Because my mama and daddy was married when I was born.
God bless him, man. Why, man? Why'd you let them do that? Why did you let them do that?
I have no idea. And plus, my mom and daddy wasn't cousins, so I couldn't be a Kentucky fan.
God. Oh,
I didn't expect this out of you, Jason.
Double whammy against you,
Crazy
man. I'm
purpose.
telling you. No wonder you're not a Kentucky fan.
I'm really mad at him.
You should be.
They-
Every day you should wake up and look at them, and I just look at a picture and just be like, I can't believe you guys.
But I am trying to date Jeff's sister.
Jeez.
She's taken.
I know. Fella can only be so lucky.
All right.
With Jeff every night at the supper table. God, life couldn't be better.
Think about that Thanksgiving. All right.
Well, I'll let
Thanks.
y'all fellas go.
Thanks, Jason. We appreciate it. We do.
Oh,
look, and that's
I'm not all for the dissing. I'm not all for that, but I can understand where the anger kind of comes from, going back and forth. Jeff just kind of got on us. I mean, he just went straight 0 to 100.
Well, no, and it's a why are you guys talking about a guy in his contract? You can't do anything about it. Well, one, it's a discussing point. It's a topic of discussion.
Yeah, it turns out we can't do much of anything to any of these guys who are getting these extensions.
I mean, I don't even know why sports talk radio is even a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know why anybody right now, the hundreds of people that are watching and or listening, either on WZZN TV or ESPN Winchester or 97.7. I don't know why any of them are doing it, but here we are. And I guarantee you right now, if I were to ask every single person listening to the radio right now, if I were to say, hey, if you were doing the exact same job as your predecessor, would you believe that you deserved 101% pay increase? I don't get it. That's that. And I even said 101%. I haven't even done the math on it. I just know it's over 100%. His salary has doubled. And the defense is I don't even know if it's better, because the only stats that are really showing that this defense is in a better place than where it was in 2023 is the fact that the defense was 0.8 points better in 2024 than 2023. Not a full point, 0.8 points. And the total defense that you referenced just a little while ago was only about 27 yards better than what it was the previous year. Heck, it's probably because of how many yards the defense had to defend. They didn't have to defend the whole field majority of the time. They just had to defend like a half of it anyway. They basically gave up the same amount of touchdowns as they did the previous season. So where is the improvement? You didn't get more turnovers this year. You actually got far less. You had 5 fumble recoveries in 2024. You had 6 in 2023. You had 8 interceptions in 2024. You had 12 in 2023. Where is your defense making a difference in 2024 that it didn't do in 2023 that you deserve a pay raise? I get the years. I understand the years. That's all just a recruiting strategy is all it is. Just so that what happens to you isn't what we saw with Nick Saban, where all the coaches are going is like, I don't know how much longer Coach Saban's got. His contract's coming up. That's all it's about. It's not about ability. So yeah, add on 55 years if you want to add that onto his contract. It doesn't matter because if as long as the buyout is what the buyout is, then so be it. I just don't understand the pay increase when you didn't really do anything.
It's understandable, Joe. It's understandable. You know what I also don't 100% understand?
Why I keep getting phone calls?
You getting another one?
God bless it. Yes.
I can hear the table vibrating. Well, Alabama's standout wide receiver, Ryan Williams. Of course, not 17 anymore. I know. It's like the whole talking point. It's not like this kid had anything else going for him. Well, he was 17. He was a star. Now he's 18.
He's a bust.
He's painting his fingernails.
He's a bust.
Now look.
He's a bust.
He signed an NIL deal, and I'm all for the boy getting the money.
Trust me, I can't complain. I'd probably pay mine for an NIL deal.
He signed it with a nail polish brand, Sally Hansen. And now he's painting his beautiful, beautiful fingernails that catch wonderful footballs as Joe gets another call.
I think we should keep count of how many of these happened during the show.
Now he's just like Caleb Williams. Remember when everybody got onto Caleb Williams? I wonder if we're going to get the same response for a stud here in the South. That's what I want to know. We're going to take it to break. When we get back, conversate a little bit more about some ball and sport. And on top of that, get into
It's so weird.
a conversation
Oh,
with Eric Henry from Horns 247 at the top of the second hour. You're not going to want to miss it because you're going to get all the details you need to know about this Texas Longhorns basketball team, as well as maybe some baseball and some football, because I hear they got some pretty good stuff going on over there. That's what's coming up when we get back here on the Blitz on 97.7. ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa Signature Card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Alabama, Auburn, number 1 and number 2 in the top 25. The top-ranked Tigers today, 9.5-point road favorites at Vanderbilt, 157.5 the total at Nashville. Well, number 2, Alabama plays for its 7th consecutive win, laying 5 at Texas, 164.5 the total in Austin. Elsewhere in the SEC today, number 5, Tennessee, a 1.5 favorite at number 15, Kentucky. Number 8, Texas A&M plays for its 4th straight win, laying 8 at home against the Georgia Bulldogs. While third-ranked Florida is a 2.5-point road favorite at number 22, Mississippi State, 151.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Atlanta Braves spring training is on from Florida, and this 2025 Brave squad is ready to get after it in Northport.
And he waylays this thing way downtown. Swung on a fly ball, deep left center field, heading towards the gap. That is down for a base hit. Acuna hits the bag at third. Here he comes. Michael Harris taking no prisoners. It's a sweep.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy, overcast sky through the course of the afternoon. We're also talking about a fair amount of rain across the Tennessee Valley. Looks like widespread rain is going to move into the area, and then it's going to stick with us through Wednesday afternoon, even as we head into Wednesday evening. Temperatures Tuesday afternoon climbing into the mid-50s across the Tennessee Valley, dropping into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight. We are going to be warmer for your Wednesday, highs hanging out in the upper 50s and lower 60s. The rain comes to an end Wednesday night, early into Thursday morning. Temperatures drop into the upper 30s and lower 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Playoffs?
I don't know this one that much. What is it?
I don't know. I feel like I'm in a Star Wars dance. Like we're over there and it's those guys with the flutes playing.
I feel like we're in the circus. Oh, this is one of Bandy's songs. Oh, now I'm sad. Anyway, welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, Joe Hunk, and of course your phone lines. Joe, we do need to hop into some of the conversation about Ryan Williams and why he's 18 now and why we probably shouldn't care about this phenomenon anymore.
No, I'm so glad that he's 18 just so that I don't have to hear about him being 17. But the nail polish thing and the painting, first off, I promise you, I will take NIL money and do pretty much anything. I mean, that's just me.
$20.
But exactly $20. And so it is with him. It's like, I know people are going to roll their eyes. I know that they rolled their eyes with Caleb Williams, but the exact same thing. I am a father of a daughter that is about to be 2 years old. Yeah. And she is absolutely in love with makeup. I mean, in love with it. Like, she will stand by her mama and she will put her fake makeup on at the exact same time that my wife is doing her real makeup. She will, like, I'm put chapstick on and she'll look at me and be like, lipstick?
Exactly.
Lipstick? Yep. And she was like, I need
Joe,
some.
You are a blank canvas
it is
for that little girl.
And so I understand that there is going to be a period of time over the course of the next decade that I am probably going to have my nails done.
And
I just know it is.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. I probably should, put something on my nails.
Yeah. Anybody knows anything about ADHD, and you guys know, like with anything with ADHD, it's always a texture thing. You're either like biting your lips or you're playing with the skin around your nails or your nails. Yeah, no, that's absolutely me. So look, I'm not judging. I have no right to judge on this, but I will also tell you that there will probably be multiple days that I will come into 97.7 with either nail polish still on my nails from my daughter doing them, or I am going to have just been able to take it off because I've had to spend time taking it off before coming in because my daughter wanted to do that.
Yeah, and turns out we never really see his fingers because of the gloves that go on it, but he paints his fingernails a lot of the times for a lot of these matchups, like orange for the Tennessee game, and also, of course, black and red for Alabama.
I had a buddy in high school that did this every single football game. Now I was like, yeah, you do you, bro. Like I didn't judge, but then he would go out and he'd rush for like 150 yards and be like, all right, well, I mean, the nail polish helps. The nail polish helps. 256-576-4977. Let's head back to the phone lines. Brandon, welcome into the Blitz. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, we know Joe don't want to get blank space, so he's going to let him paint them nails.
Absolutely. Trust me, my it's going to be a totally different reason, but like I said, she gonna write her name. She going to. It's going to happen.
So we wrote a few more song titles yesterday in the afternoon, and breakup song titles. I guess the one good one would be "Not Enough Indians." Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Okay. It's still not as good as the three-peat one.
Yeah, the three-peat was good.
Yeah.
Bubble screen blowout.
Now that could go in many different ways.
That honestly just feels like Kelsey had an accident after eating Japanese food. That's really what that sounds like. I mean,
oh jeez.
I thought it was a poot. I'm sorry.
In like an eagle, out like a lion.
That one's actually not bad. That's not bad. That's also kind of it's a double entendre as well, because it also takes a jab at the Lions.
Slamming screen door O-line.
Oh.
Flaming screen door. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Slam. Is it slamming or flaming?
Oh, no, it was that O-line was going up in flames.
Okay.
That O-line was definitely going up in flames.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Two brothers, one winner.
Ooh.
I
get bad memories from that.
Actually, that may be the best one. I mean, they both have rings, but in this scenario, yeah, there's only one that's a winner.
I don't know if you fully get that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Joe.
No, I do fully get it.
Okay. All right.
I have the internet.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured Joe would appreciate those. We worked on those.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Most people right here didn't get the in like an eagle, out like a lion. I told them that was just over their head.
No. I get every single one of them. I also have to blame for you, as in today when my son's he always wants to listen to one song as he's going to school, and one of those that he listened to today, after it was over, it went straight into the Kendrick Lamar and Taylor Swift Bad Blood, and he and I both sat there for a minute and we're like, this is actually a really good song. It's a banger.
We wish Taylor just floated down on her little kite down onto the stage.
You may hear that on the Havoc Hour tonight. You may hear it on the Havoc Hour tonight.
Is your son a fan of System of a Down, BYOB?
No, he hasn't heard that one yet. I have a playlist of about 1,000 songs that I've through history, like from the 1950s all the way up to now. And so every single day we play a new song for him. Today, the one that I picked was St. Elmo's Fire. So that's not a Taylor Swift song, but it kind of sounds like one. And so that was what that was. We haven't got to the System of the Down, but I will tell you, he does like Disturbed, Down with the Sickness.
I could see him
I think
singing
I just thought of a new song title. Peace Pipe, Peace Out.
Yeah. No. I'm still the Two Brothers, One Ring is probably my favorite behind the three-peat. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah. At least we can have some fun out of the situation the best we can anyway.
No, I mean, look, in the game itself was boring. And I mean, there's goods and bads to it. Like I'm sitting here and I'm excited for AJ Brown. I'm excited for Saquon Barkley, and absolutely am ecstatic for Jalen Hurts for the road that man has done and betting on himself numerous times. I love it. And I absolutely love a man that bets on himself, because you have to bet on yourself sometimes. And those are the good things that came out of that Super Bowl. And all of your music titles.
Great stuff. Gentlemen, roll tide.
Roll tide. Good stuff from you, man.
All right, let's head to the state of Texas. Eric Henry of Horns 247. Woo! About to join us right now.
Joe, I'm getting pumped, man. This is the way we get to find out all the information.
Well, this is how we know a little bit more. Remember, we wouldn't have known about Walter Clayton doing what he was going to do on Saturday if it wasn't for us talking last week to Dubbin. So
exactly.
Let's talk to Eric Henry when we come back about this Texas Longhorns team as the number one team in the country heads to Austin.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
So when we came out of the timeout, Coach Hedge had initially called a man play, and they ended up faking a zone. So the whole bench was yelling zone, zone, zone. So we tried to switch the play last second. We ended up getting confused. So Tommy swung it to me, and I initially, all right, I'm going to try and get to the rim right here. We're only down 2. We don't need a 3. And he flipped his hips real hard, and I tossed it back, and as soon as I let it go, I knew it was in.
Campbell to plug it in. 81-79 Union. Inbounds it goes. Dribbling it out from Tommy Murr. Swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead. Oh, my God! Blake Campbell! It's a 3! Into the front court for the win! No good! No good! No good! Blake Campbell with some onions from Jackson, Tennessee!
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Everwood Treatment Company, the official treated lumber of Alabama athletics. Everwood, wood treated right. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Alabama women's basketball picked up a Super Bowl Sunday win at Mississippi State, 80-60 in Starkville. Here are our post-game thoughts from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry.
10-0 run, and that led to a dominant first half. What was important in the first 5 minutes of this game?
I just thought we did a really nice job of executing the game plan. Started on the defensive end, and when we can get solid stops and get our transition game going and the way our kids shared the basketball. So I love the execution of the game plan. I thought the majority of the minutes, especially to start the game, we did a really good job with that.
19 assists for your team. Once again, Sarah Ashley Barker with 8. We saw that a couple of games ago as well. I mean, how is she distributing to her teammates so well?
Well, I mean, she just does such a great job of drawing so much attention. And then when she does, finding the open person. But her facilitator ability is special. And I thought that she did a really nice job of finding other people and seeing the floor. And, you know, we can have the ball in our hands. Good things happen.
I'll have more in a moment.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
If you missed last night's edition of Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, catch it on demand on the Alabama Insider podcast, as well as a video archive on the CTSN YouTube channel. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Everwood. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
It all comes back
to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977espn.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Alabama, Auburn, number 1 and number 2 in the top 25. The top-ranked Tigers today, 9.5-point road favorites at Vanderbilt, 157.5 the total at Nashville. Well, number 2, Alabama plays for its 7th consecutive win, laying 5 at Texas, 164.5 the total in Austin. Elsewhere in the SEC today, number 5, Tennessee, a 1.5 favorite at number 15, Kentucky. Number 8, Texas A&M plays for its 4th straight win, laying 8 at home against the Georgia Bulldogs, while 3rd-ranked Florida is a 2.5-point road favorite at number 22, Mississippi State, 151.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Rain's going to stick with us as we head into the overnight and into Wednesday morning. Allow yourself a couple of extra minutes as you head out the door for work on Wednesday morning. We drop into the mid and upper 40s. Temperature is going to be a little bit warmer Wednesday afternoon. We're also going to hold on to the rain across the Tennessee Valley. We climb into the upper 50s and lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight early into your Thursday morning. Rain's going to begin to slow down a little bit as we head into Thursday afternoon. A mostly cloudy sky. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. I am Joe Hunk. He is John Abraham. As we continue on this Tuesday morning, don't forget the Havoc Hour coming up tonight at 6 o'clock from Zambrewski's inside of the Huntsville Iceplex, as we're going to be joined by 2 Huntsville Havoc players as well as one of the coaches, as Coach Stefan actually joined us last week. So now I'm kind of sitting here just going, all right, which way are we going on this? We going video coach? We're going assistant coach? Which way are we heading? So we're prepared for both. So we're going to be kind of rolling with it. Maybe one of them danced a pony whenever they just don't remember it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you got to go back and watch last week's show to figure out what we're talking about with that one.
Yeah, WZZN TV is the place to go for that. And who knows? You might get Pia Santini again.
Well, and with getting him, the best part is you can come down to Zambrewski's. You can enjoy that as I get yet another phone call.
Oh, that's impressive.
No, it's not impressive.
I'm gonna get Guinness Book of World Records out here to.
No, there's only one phone call
something
I care about right now, and it is the one that is on the line right now, so that we can talk a little bit about Texas. Because once we get done with the Havoc Hour, which ends at 7, we then turn around and get ready for Alabama, Texas.
Oh yeah, because you're going to be able to listen to it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. It's going to be a very fun matchup. Going to be in Texas, and that's why we're getting on our Texas guest, Eric Henry from Horns 247. Eric, wonderful to get you on with us, man. How are you doing today?
Good morning, fellas. Appreciate y'all having me on, and I can relate to getting the phone call while you're on the air. It's pet peeves when people call me when they know I'm in the press box. It's like, I'm at the stadium. Why are you calling right
So what are you up to today? What are you up to today? I don't know. Do you see a team on a football field that you care about, that you know that I also am covering? Do you know that? It blows me away.
Right?
Yeah, so I just threw it on Do Not Disturb. I just did that. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Nope, not doing this anymore. But no, and with you, you're going to be at the arena tonight. You're going to be paying attention. You're going to be there. And look, yes, in the state of Alabama, man, it's a little bit different. We've got, quote unquote, 2 teams that are the number 1 team in the country, one in the coaches poll, one in the AP. And now everybody's wanting to focus on Saturday when they play each other. But Alabama has to go to Austin. They're having to play Trey Johnson. With him alone, let's just start with Trey Johnson. Is this a game that as you've watched him so far this season perform, and he's the leading scorer in the SEC, what does he have to do in this game to get Texas into a position in the second half to possibly win this game?
It's three things, guys. We're talking about specifically Trey. One, he's got to be consistent on the defensive end. I know that may sound like a Rodney Terry teaching point, like a Rodney Terry kind of, phrase that he uses verbatim, but Trey's defense has been a little bit inconsistent. And for a team and a coach in Rodney Terry, who everything with him starts with defense, that has to be key. The second thing, he's got to make open shots. Trey, if you take a look, shoot about 43% from the field, about 38% from three, leading the SEC and scoring with 19 a game. But his numbers are significantly down in conference play, right? I mean, that's to be expected. You're not facing the mid-majors and low majors of the world, but also just as an 18-year-old kid, Trey's body, we kind of joked with him. He was talking about some of the work he's done in the weight room and how that's helping him kind of have more energy and more, kind of sustained stamina for second halves. But then we asked Trey, hey, how much do you bench? He's like, I don't bench. I want to get up on that bench. But Trey has been, his shot has been inconsistent in the second half of games. You take a look in conference play, guys. There have been multiple games this year where Trey in the second half has gone 8, 9, 10 minutes, either without getting a shot off or hitting a field goal. A lot of the points are coming from the free throw line. So that's going to be key. And the third thing real quick is just get some of the other guys involved. It's been a challenge for him to kind of, get used to saying, hey, I've got some other veterans who are just as talented as me. Let me get them involved. We should do that as well for just talking about Trey.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I want you to kind of talk about some of those other players that really help flesh out this starting lineup for the Longhorns, because, there's a lot of talk about, one player on every single team. And I feel like every casual viewer knows about the Jonai Brooms. They know about the Mark Sears. But whenever you really get down to the depth, that's honestly what's going to win you the championships. Talk a little bit about the depth of this Texas Longhorn squad.
Guys, I'd love to sit here and tell you that depth exists. It has been spotty all year. Major reasons because of injuries. Major reasons because of injuries.
At least you're straight up with us.
Yeah. You have three guys in Arthur Kaluma, Tremont Mark, and Devon Pryor, who all listed as probable on that latest SEC availability report, but they've been banged up. So, I mean, if I had to point to a couple, kind of secondary guys who aren't Trey, I'll give you one who's going to be in the lineup and one who's going to be coming off the bench. Arthur Kaluma, as I mentioned. Art's kind of the heart and soul of this team. I mean, he's the guy who, you take a look at some of the transfers they brought in, and whether it's been Jordan Pope or Tremont Mark, guys who were, their team's first scoring option at their previous stops at Oregon State and Arkansas. Arthur Kaluma is a guy who's always going to do that. So he fits in real well. He's going to, be around a double-double. If he can get going and really be a presence on the board, he's Texas' leading rebounder with 8 boards a game. That's going to be huge against Bama, who, of course, does a great job on the boards. Then off the bench, Devon Pryor is a sophomore who didn't play a ton last year. He was actually committed to LSU before and, making his way to Texas. But guys, widely regarded as the most athletic guy on this team, and just through happenstance, because Kaluma missed a game against who was at A&M a couple of weeks ago, and Pryor ended up getting more minutes and really impressed. And if he can give this team some energy and some defense, maybe in a dunk here or there, a steal here or there, that's going to be huge. Because like I said, the depth really isn't there with this team because of injuries and quite frankly, some guys struggle.
Yeah, and it seems at times like this team really gets something going. Of course, against that LSU matchup, you had numerous players up above the double digits point. But the end of the day, I mean, is that what it comes down to across the season, the struggles that the Longhorns have had? Because there have been the ups, but it just seems like Texas hasn't really been able to find their footing this year.
Yeah, well, again, I'll speak straight with you guys. I was at that LSU game. I mean, no disrespect to Matt McMahon's team. They're just not very good. Yeah. And that's the reason why Texas looked much better than, quite frankly, I mean, they looked as good as they've looked all year in that win. The biggest thing, and I kind of alluded to it in the previous answer, man, just so much roster turnover. I mean, Trey Johnson is new, Jordan Pope, Mark, the Kaluma, just the amount of new guys that they've tried to work into this rotation. And as I said, it's one thing when you get guys who, they all are deferring to Trey. Let's just call a spade a spade. That was what was known entering this year. Trey Johnson is this team's number one option. who are the veterans who can understand that they are not the first option anymore. And everyone's bought into the role. It's not like they haven't tried, but it's hard to ask a guy like Jordan Pope, who is capable of going for 42 in non-conference play and 28 against Oklahoma one night or on those nights. Right, yeah. He's capable of going off on those nights and then also, going scoreless and only scoring 33 points over the last 6 games because he's being asked to do something different on each night that he wasn't used to doing previously in his career. So really, it's just the roster makeup of this team that's just it's an ill fit. I mean, you have guys who are used to starting at their previous spots, coming off the bench, guys who are used to being first option scoring, kind of deferring, and it's been up and down all year.
Well, and I know you have, the rosters in college basketball change over so much anyway, as it is, but this is also, let's not act like this still isn't the first season that this Texas Longhorns team is having to go through an SEC schedule, like what we talked about in football and what the baseball team is about to go through, as well as all the women's sports. How are they handling that going through this where, it is? I know it is because you're saying, hey, I was at this game. I mean, even you are going to different cities and different venues and all that you haven't been to so far as as much as what you have with the Big 12. How is their comfort level right now in handling all the new stuff that they are experiencing in the SEC?
I hate to keep piling on Rodney Terry's club, but the rest of the teams aren't having an issue. Women's basketball, home of their end of the deal. Baseball goes out and gets Jim Schlossnagle from A&M, right? We'll see what they're able to do. Football, we know what they did in their first year in the SEC, right? So you take Ange Kelly in women's soccer. I mean, the list goes on, right? So, I mean, to answer your question, this is something that was known. Chris Del Conte emphasized it, when they made the transition to the SEC this summer, is that, teams are going to get, Texas are going to get teams' best shot, and it's going to be an adjustment transition to the SEC and Texas men's basketball. And I'll say this in defense of Rodney Terry. I actually wrote this on the side over at horns247.com earlier this month. Texas, when you look at NIL funding and the money that comes through this university, you'd expect them to be a top 3, top 4 team in the SEC in terms of NIL budget. They're 8 in terms of SEC teams, in terms of, finances and NIL. And in one sense, that, if you ask me, the one area that Texas hasn't been SEC ready, at least basketball, I'd say it's that. Because especially you just talked about it, the amount of roster turnover in today's college basketball, you better be ready to fund a team if you want to compete the right way. And quite frankly, I don't think Texas is doing that at an adequate level.
Eric Henry from Horns 247 is our guest, continuing on with him with the Longhorns conversation. And I wanted to talk about the Moody Center, okay, because this is where the game is going to be held tonight. Of course, Alabama, they play really well on away courts, but at the same time, this is where Texas has played some of their best ball. Talk about the environment that this Alabama team is going to expect as they head in to the Moody Center tonight.
Moody Center can leave. Okay, first off, the arena itself is phenomenal. It's funny you asked that because I've actually made the point of asking whether it was Danny Hurley or Kelvin Sampson, Bruce Pearl, a lot of the big name coaches. I asked Don Staley after the women's game, their thoughts on Moody Center, and they all marvel at what a just magnificent venue it is.
It looks phenomenal.
Alabama. I don't know how it comes across on TV. I'm just telling you right now, being inside, it's outstanding. So for any Bama fans or Auburn fans, if they hear this, who will make the trip, it's worth it in that sense. As far as a basketball venue, a basketball environment, it can leave a lot to be desired. I think a lot of that has to do with kind of the fan base. And again, in their defense, they haven't been given too much to cheer for at home over the past 2 years. But it is not a consistent, it's not Cameron Indoor. It's not somewhere that, Baylor, the new Baylor Arena, the Fertitta Center or whatever it's called down there in Houston. I forget what the new name is now. Down in Houston, it's not those types of environments as far as fans being engaged for 60 minutes, but it can get loud. But that's, really if Texas gives them a reason to. It is not going to intimidate teams by any stretch of the imagination.
Man, you've already become our favorite guy from Texas. Like, I'm just letting you know, because you're so straight up, and I love the fact that you're not trying to color code anything. You're not like, hey, guys, I'm telling you, when you come down here, this is better. Like, you're being straight with us. And this is why I love this.
And I always looked at the arena as this just marvel. And then when I think about in reality, not having the fan base, of course, being so hyped up and focused on this Texas team, I mean, that's crazy to me because I'd want to make it a point to make it out to every single Texas home game, at least just to be in that arena.
It's something where, listen, don't get me wrong, they don't have an issue drawing crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, things did get a little rough, especially when they started SEC play 1-3, 1-4. Things would get a little rough, but they don't have an issue drawing crowds. And again, I'm not trying to bang on the Texas fans per se, because in their defense, like I said, the team hasn't been great. They've been average over the past 2 years. They've been tournament teams, but average. But it's not an environment where you're going to get 40 minutes of fans just screaming on top of their lungs. It's not that at all.
As we're joined right now, as we're talking to Eric Henry of Horns 247, you can follow him on X at Eric C. Henry _. And we've talked a little bit about the Super Bowl. Obviously, everybody has. And so John and myself loved the halftime show, but we also knew why and what was going on with the halftime show. And now the first thing I think of when I'm sitting here telling you this is, did Texas just pull a Kendrick Lamar by getting Schlossnagle from Texas A&M? Like, he goes to the College World Series championship game with Texas A&M, and then he leaves A&M and goes to Texas.
I hadn't considered it. I hadn't juxtaposed it to pulling a Kendrick Lamar. That does give me a bit of a laugh there. In terms of, he didn't. Kendrick Lamar may have ended Drake's career domestically. I don't think it's quite that bad for Texas A&M. But no, listen, that was probably one of the major moves in the SEC this offseason, maybe in college sports this offseason. That's the thing about Chris Del Conte. Why, it's funny, I wrote this in a column, and I'm not just doing cheap plugs in my writing here, I promise.
That's why we got you on. It's okay.
I compared Chris Del Conte to Jerry Jones, saying that he's the anti-Jerry Jones, right? He's not someone who just wants to make everything about himself. All he cares about is winning and getting the right guy, getting his guy. So Chris Del Conte was going out to College Station, waiting, and the story's been documented, waiting outside the cemetery to find a hiding place in the middle of the night. That's what it takes. Chris Del Conte is going to get his man. And Sloss, it's funny, we actually have an availability with him coming up in about 2 hours. So it's ironic we're talking about him here, but he's been adamant. He's like, listen, I know the expectations of Texas. I know what I signed up for. I know it's going to be hell for me when I got to go back to a College Station. But yeah, that's Chris Del Conte just getting his man and being the anti-Jerry Jones, being all about winning and not caring anything about, pompous self-promotion.
I think Jeff's wearing off on me because whenever I hear anti.
Yeah, no, and I'm sitting and I'm thinking this, and again, I know that we've talking basketball, and it's kind of weird we haven't even mentioned football at all, but I know with baseball coming up, this is such a big thing. If this were to happen in college football, where the coach had just led a team to, let's just say Ryan Day. If Ryan Day had led Ohio State to the national championship game, they lose, so he doesn't even win the championship, and then turns around and gets hired by Michigan. This would literally be like one of the greatest things that has ever happened. And this is what just happened with Texas A&M and Texas with the coach that you guys brought on, who's been in the state for forever, because he did this with TCU as well. Like, he made TCU what it was in baseball.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head in terms of the analogy, right? And I would even say, and I'm not discounting the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, but just the fact that you look at the history of A&M, right, and them wanting to, keep Texas out of the SEC and some of the provisions there, right? That almost adds an extra layer that that's not in counting it. And listen, I've never made the drive from, Ann Arbor to Columbus. I don't know how far that is, but it's a 90-minute drive to College Station. Right, so you're talking about just right in the backyard, going against one after A&M played a part in eliminating Texas from the postseason, of the NCAA regional last year. So no, I mean, that is a move that was really seismic. And like you said, had it been any other sport, I'd say even college basketball, if you go from Duke to Carolina, it would be the number one storyline for a long time.
Oh my heavens. Now that I'm thinking about that, man, but look, we absolutely appreciate you coming on. And honestly, out of everything, seriously, I appreciate and we appreciate your honesty on this, because you could have totally came up in here and blew smoke up everybody's tail about, hey guys, watch out. This thing right here is going to be dangerous. You don't know what this arena's like. Like, you could have said every bit of that, and you were so honest with us about everything. And we just really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's not my style. If you're going to have me on, I'm going to try to give it to you guys straight, at least as best I can. So appreciate y'all having me on.
Thanks for that. He is Eric Henry. Make sure that you follow him on X at Eric C. Henry from Horns 247.
Look, I think he was kind of pulling a fast one on us.
Now you're starting things downplaying it?
I think there is an ability for this Texas team to get on a little bit of a hot run. The Alabama team to start, underestimating what this, could end up as. And of course, the Moody Center getting very loud.
Look,
it's a possibility.
It is a possibility, but the thing is, the reason why I think he's being honest is because if you go and look at his X feed, Eric C. Henry _, you go look at it. There's a post that he put in the other day about, out of all the times that he's been in that arena, he's like, he thinks it's the loudest that arena had ever been, and it was for one of the women's basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
Look around and see how many empty seats there are. And he was saying that's one of the loudest arenas. So what he's saying is look, he's being honest with us, because he's even saying this is the loudest the arena has been, and it still has empty seats.
No, yeah. He's straight up about it all, and you guys definitely need to go and check his workout as well as what he's got going on over at Horns 247. Are you excited for tonight's game or what? 256-576-9777, as well as a whole lot more of SEC and just college basketball in general coming up tonight.
When we come back, there may have been empty seats, and maybe some empty seats tonight in Austin. There were not any empty seats inside of the Superdome down in New Orleans. And apparently there was not a television that was not on the football game, as we have the numbers for what the attendance, as well as obviously what the number is for the amount of people in the United States that watched the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Already?
We put it into perspective next on the Blitz. 256-576-977.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Long before winter weather approaches, the Alabama Department of Transportation prepares to maintain interstate and state roads that could be affected by snow and ice.
Yeah, we start training and doing maintenance on snow and ice equipment months in advance to make sure everything is ready for when the freezing weather comes. We will have crews working around the clock that are prepared to plow snow and remove trees that have fallen into the roadway.
Our mission is to keep roadways safe and open. We try to achieve this by focusing on interstate routes first and then secondary roadways by traffic volume.
If the weather allows, we'll start pre-treating the roadways during the day to prepare for the temperature drop at night.
ALDOT wants to keep the public informed during these winter weather events. The best way to learn about state road conditions is the Algo app and through local media. Brought to you by ALDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into something. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone with my friend Brandon Pilcher from Pilcher's Appraisals. Brandon, what exactly do you do?
Steve, I'm an appraiser. I can value a property for you if you're potentially going to sell, and that valuation could also be used to help you with your property taxes.
Thanks, Brandon. Brandon is licensed in Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. You can contact him at 706-936-3766. Call or text.
Yeah. I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances, finessing on them with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my accountant lips, in fact, I'm counting this.
Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock on WZZN TV. We do have the Havoc Hour live from Zambruski's over at the Huntsville Iceplex, as we're going to be joined by Charlie Risk. And he's not the only Havoc member that is going to be joining us as well, as Cervoni is going to be joining us. And you can join this and join us over at the Huntsville Iceplex, where you can get autographs. You can do all sorts of things with the Havoc players, take pictures, talk to them outside of it. Everything is there. So we appreciate Cam Cervoni as well as Charlie Risk joining us tonight and getting to go through the gauntlet of extremely interesting questions.
Yeah. Do you think they'll actually have a drink with us?
I don't know.
It's the one question.
I
I typically look. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. All right. First few times we went, I had to take advantage of the deal that they had going on
because it's $1 off.
It's $1 off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
$1 off drive. Yep.
I made sure that I took advantage of that. But nowadays, I just focus, and I just get that thing dealt with. But some of the players, they like to indulge themselves. I'm not going to say any names, but I wonder if these guys are going to be up for the task tonight over at Zambruski's, maybe save themselves $1 on some brews.
Well, you also have to remember that they are on a road trip right now. Now they're going to be back on Sunday.
Yeah, but they're not driving, Joe.
No, they're not driving, but at the same time, they still have to go to Knoxville on Valentine's Day, which that game is also going to be on WAFF 48.3. That's the third of the 4 games that are going to be on WAFF 48.3. And so they're going to be in Knoxville on Friday, and then they're going to come back to take on Roanoke, who beat them just a couple of days ago in Roanoke. So it was a part of the trip that we're not going to focus on as much because there's a few things that took place in the game against Fayetteville. There were 2 games against Fayetteville. One ended in a shootout win for Huntsville. That was the Friday night game. But then the Saturday night game is the one that everybody's kind of talking about. That one also ended in OT in the favor of the Havoc. So there's some things that need to be kind of discussed.
Yeah.
And so those are what's going up, of course, this next weekend. And then after they play on Sunday against Roanoke, they're then going to head back to Birmingham because for some reason they always like playing Birmingham on Mondays and like in the middle of the day. Puck drop is at like 4 p.m.
It's the worst time to play them.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big rivalry team.
Yeah. Puck drop is at 4 p.m. On Monday. So Havoc Hour coming up tonight. Make sure that you are there because, and I'm telling you, get there early because we start at 6 o'clock, but the fans and everybody start filling the seats well before that.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only do you have fans of Huntsville Havoc that are there, but you also have parents that are there whose kids are practicing, and they get to kind of overlook there and watch their kids from up there as they get to kind of hang out and talk at themselves. So.
Yeah. And then on the way home, you're going to be able to listen to the Alabama matchup against Texas, as we just got done with our wonderful conversation with a brand new friend of ours, Eric Henry
Well,
from Horns 247.
And to be honest with you, it makes me even feel like, oh, okay, cool. I'll have this game on, but I'm not going to be really stressing it as much as I thought I would. He did not give me any sort of feel that Texas is going to play well in this game.
And I wanted to get him on we wanted to get him on for multiple reasons, of course, to give us an idea of what we could expect from the Longhorns. Of course, this is a team that can start off really fast. All right. But it's a team that hasn't been able to get it 100% together yet. And that's one thing I wanted to figure out with him, to see if this team had that full health, if they had that mindset ready, getting the number 1 team inside of the Moody Center. I felt like this was going to be a game they would be ready for, but the way that he was talking about it, I don't know. Throw it up in the air.
No, absolutely. Now, a game that we were ready for was on Sunday, and then we got a dud. Maybe what happens tonight, but we joked about it, and we said, what does everybody say about the Monday after the Super Bowl?
We want it off.
It needs to be a holiday, man.
Especially Philadelphia, it's falling apart, man.
It's falling apart for, but just save the Constitution, save the Declaration of Independence, and let the rest of it burn. That's kind of basically the idea that Eagles fans have right at the moment, because it is just a party. But we talk about the difference between watching the Super Bowl and watching other national championship games. With the national championship game that just took place literally like 2 weeks ago, that we've all already forgotten.
Oh, that was a month ago now, Joe.
Was it a month?
It's been that long.
It felt like it was 2 weeks ago. Wow.
Feels like a month ago.
It does feel like a month ago, but Ohio State wins national championship. I think the average viewership was like 24 million viewers for that game. 24 million viewers for the national championship game of college football. And people want to know the difference between college football viewership and the NFL and the Super Bowl viewership. How about multiply the college football national championship viewership by like 5? And that is what you have for the Super Bowl. 126 million viewers averaged watching that game on Sunday.
That's average.
It's average.
That's not peaked.
It peaked at 135.7 in the second quarter because of Kendrick Lamar.
I gotcha.
So
237 or 137?
137, 135.7. Now let's put this in perspective, because I did the math earlier.
So it'd really suck if you messed up this whole segment.
It's really going to suck is the way in which I'm going to try to say this where it comes out properly, because for people that do not realize this, English is not my best language, and it just sucks because it's my only language. So I'm in a situation here.
This works great because math is the worst subject.
If we took the population of the United States, 126 million viewers would mean that every single television in 38 different states were watching the Super Bowl.
Wow.
If you
that's a lot of television.
That's 38 different states. If we just said 126 million people, how many millions of people is that? That is the population of 38 of the United States combined.
And that also includes children, right? I mean, children don't have.
Well,
what's the average
viewers.
household? What's the average household?
Right now, for me, it's 4.5.
Well, then it's probably around 4.5. Then I would say, Joe.
3.5, 4. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is 38 states.
Damn.
If every single one, which means if you had none of the other 12 states watching the Super Bowl, every single television in 38 states would have watched this game. If we're talking about how much 126 million viewers are.
Well, we can leave off Alaska. We could leave off probably Hawaii. I don't know how much they're watching this big game. Maybe Maine. Rhode Island would be close enough to care a little bit.
I mean, everybody's caring, but no. So here's the states, because I was looking up the population. Now,
if it wasn't for Philadelphia being in it, then they would have not been caring too much, because they would have just been playing their hockey.
Now, in the states that I counted, I started from 50 and worked my way up. I didn't start with California and Texas and Florida and New York, because that basically was 126 million altogether. which is also the reason why they're really kind of important when it comes to election time. But like the states that were involved in the numbers that I did were Wyoming, Vermont, Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, all those types of states. I'm not going through the whole list, but it was all of those states all the way up to what is the number 13 state in the country when it comes to population, and that is the state of Washington.
You should have let me guess that.
I'll let you guess what number 14 is.
Any hints? So it's behind Washington.
It's behind Washington.
Oregon.
It is not. I said behind Washington. I didn't mean actually in population or where it is on a map, because Oregon was in this count. They're actually, when it comes to the census that just wrapped up last year, they're the 27th most populated state.
Missouri.
No. Missouri is 19th.
Michigan.
No, Michigan was not counted in this because they're 10th.
Okay, I have one more guess.
Okay.
Give me Tennessee.
Tennessee is close, but Tennessee's 15th, the 14th most populated state in the country.
Mississippi.
Dude, they barely have 14 teeth.
I'm getting close. Well, okay, what is it? What is it? I'm done with that.
Arizona. Damn it. Arizona was number 14 as far as population is concerned. Alabama, Minnesota, South Carolina, all those. So if you had every television on in the country and you just use population, 38 states were watching the Super Bowl. That's how many 126 million people are.
And just imagine if it was an actual good game.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more than that.
Look, it was set up to be a wonderful game. All right. I will say that I thought that it was going to be that 35-35, almost going to be going into overtime type of matchup. But that's just not what we got. And I don't know. And I wanted to kind of segue this over, unless you got more math.
No, I'm just happy that I said it in a way that actually made sense.
I am as well.
That's all I'm saying.
But I feel like a lot of people may think that now that the Chiefs have lost to somebody that's not Tom Brady, that the dynasty might be coming to an end. And Joe, I want you to come at this very unbiased, because I know you're a Kansas City dude. You like that. You like the team. But now we look forward. Travis Kelce, his future is kind of questionable, whether they're going to extend him for a while or whether he just changes his mind and says, I'm going to go into showbiz. Patrick Mahomes still has a lot of years on his contract. So there's a few Super Bowls there. But outside of that, do you think that this Kansas City Chiefs team can do enough to continue reloading with, of course, Andy Reid at the helm?
Okay, so I'm looking at the current contracts for a lot of their players, and now some of these guys that they're going to need to sign, they're going to be able to do kind of on the cheaper side of things. Yeah. Like a Juju Smith-Schuster, he made $1.2 million last year. He's still a viable piece as far as the wide receiver core is concerned.
He's going to free agency,
but he's still, you're gonna want to re-sign him. One of the important pieces in this that I think is that they definitely are going to need to sign is going to be Trey Smith, who is the offensive guard. He was making about $3.6 million. This is his rookie deal, and he is up. And I can promise you with everything in me, the Tennessee Titans want to bring him to Tennessee.
That number 74?
That is, I'm trying to remember what number he actually is on it. And I cannot remember what number Trey Smith is. I'm looking it up right now. No, I'm trying to look it up because I totally forget what it is. He's actually 65.
Oh, 65. All right.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the one that's always false starting.
No, that was not him.
Okay.
But then you have guys like Justin Reed, who you saw all over the field on Sunday night. D-Hop, his contract is up. So what is he going to do? Hollywood Brown, what is he going to do? This entire wide receiver core can be very different, which could be good, could be bad. Like Kareem Hunt is not going to be back. So Samaje Perine is going to be a free agent. Those are all the guys. They even have, and this is also going to be something that I'm kind of glad that the Chiefs did not win for. If they would have won, that would have meant that Carson Wentz got a ring because he is Mahomes' backup.
Ooh, he already got a ring. It doesn't matter.
Does he already have a ring? Oh yeah, because he got a ring with Philadelphia.
Nick Foles
that's
won
it. Yeah, because Nick Foles won it for him. So the man's never won one by
Also,
himself.
why did I think that Carson Wentz was the backup for both teams?
Because he has been. Because he has been.
It just felt like he was the backup for both teams at the exact same time. By the way, Jawan Taylor was the guy that I was thinking about.
So the wide receiver core and the skills position themselves is going to be very different. Obviously, you bring Worthy back. You're going to bring Pacheco back.
Rashid
Rice is going to be healthy. You get to bring him back. So those are the young pieces that you get to bring back. Now you're going to want to fill those in with the veteran wide receivers and who's going to want to be a part of this team and who is not. You're going to need to find a serviceable backup, which may be Carson Wentz. But the other thing is you have got to nail down this offensive line. I'm not saying anything that nobody knows because we all watch the Super Bowl. You have got to nail down the offensive line. Defensively, I actually think that they're not that bad, but offensively, they need some help.
Yeah, following the 40-point bludgeoning that was. But
Again,
I get it.
When your team is there's a other part. Look at how many plays were ran in that game by each team, because it doesn't matter how good your defense is.
Exactly.
You have your defensive coordinators like, all right, guys, come around now. This is what we're going to crap for punting, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
And
go,
it was also the 2 interceptions in the first half
Yeah.
didn't really help because they were both in, of course,
right.
Chiefs territory.
All right, guys, crap. They're punt. Can you at least run? Can you at least run to 0? Can we at least let it go down to 1 beforehand? Like, give me a second to talk to my team here. Like, that was kind of what was happening with the Chiefs. The Chiefs ran 49 plays in the Super Bowl. The Eagles ran 70.
Yeah. No,
21 more plays.
Pretty sure everybody knew about the amount of plays that the Eagles are running on, of course, the Kansas City.
So it is one thing that I really want to pay attention to with what they do skill position wise. I also really kind of wonder, and it's not so much a Kelsey thing because Kelsey, I never have to worry about his conditioning and all this other stuff. There's a lot that gets taken out of you when winning a championship, the travel, the parties, everything else. I mean, again, I don't think Saquon Barkley has slept in 72 hours. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. But I also kind of wonder about what Mahomes may do differently this offseason to make sure that he stays healthy for the remainder of the year next year. Not that he missed a lot of games. It's just he didn't look as healthy as a quarterback as what he had in the past.
A lot of the wobbling,
It was, so I am kind of curious. I wonder if there was possibly like a something like in his foot, like, a hairline fracture or something like that where he couldn't run as quickly.
It had to be something because I feel like I have not seen Mahomes truly get injured, and I don't want to see a guy get injured, but he has been one of those guys that has just he's been relentless with just playing through the seasons. That's one reason why I think the Chiefs team has been able to be so consistent is maybe not because the offensive line is good enough, but because of the mobility that Mahomes has to avoid injury.
Yeah.
But it still can get him into some of those sticky situations, but it hasn't really shown yet. I mean, he hasn't been taken out of halfway through the season and the Chiefs kind of fell apart in his entire career.
He's missed probably like 2 or 3 games here and there, 2 or 3 games, and that's it.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't those. Now, again, it also goes down to his ability in making sure that when he does get hit, a lot of times it's not right on and that he's not getting hit flush. He's able to kind of move out of the way and not take the blunt of the hit. That comes with it. But at the same time I want to see what he does in the offseason, because this is one of those scenarios where if we're wanting to compare him to Tom Brady, this is where Tom Brady goes back into the lab and says, okay, what all do I need to do different? That is the focus for the entire offseason.
Philadelphia Eagles are currently the favorite for the 60th Super Bowl. Behind them are the Chiefs, as it always is, isn't it? I mean, it's always the champion that's
that's why when you said, I'm like, oh yeah, of course.
It's dumb though.
No.
Do you see the Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl next year?
So the biggest piece for me that I want to see what they're going to do, and this may be the person that they actually throw the franchise tag on. I think franchise tags start going out next Monday, if I remember correctly, is Josh Sweat. I mean, again, that man was a half a sack away from tying the NFL Super Bowl record for sacks. I want to see what they're going to do with him, which right now he made $10 million last year. I could totally see them, instead of wanting to give him a massive deal, he's only 26 years old. I could see them possibly giving a franchise tag to him, depending on some of the other players that are going. Also, looking now, it's more on the defensive side. It's a Brandon Graham that you could be looking for when it comes to the players that they're needing to re-sign. They don't have very many expensive players that they need to re-sign. What they may want to try to figure out how to do is the Dallas Goedert deal, because he's about to go into the last year of his deal, and that's a lot of money that he's making right now to not be a massive part of this offense. So I want to see if they're going to possibly restructure that deal with him. Another one that you could be looking at is a James Bradbury, right here from Alabama. Like, I want to know what they're going to do with him because of the amount of money that he's going to potentially be making. So there's a lot of question marks from there. I honestly think that offensively, they should be good. It's more about the defensive side with them, and especially Josh Sweat. That's going to be the question right there because he was just a wrecker in that defense in that game.
No doubt about that. 256-576-97.7 is the number to get in as we head into our final segment of the show. Love to hear from you, whether you want to talk about, of course, the Super Bowl or the basketball or even what you want to see over at the Havoc Hour.
And we have breaking news. When we come back from the NFL.
Am I going to have to play that?
No.
I'll play it.
No,
I'll play the breaking.
No, you're good. We'll just do it when we come back.
I know. I'll do it when we come back.
Yeah, we'll be back on the Blitz.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain. Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, we're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo. I want money! You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You may have been asking yourself, as the NFL season has ended and we are getting closer now to the NFL Combine, why does my team not have a head coach? Really, the only group of people that have been asking themselves that are the New Orleans Saints fans, because they have not had a head coach. Everybody else has named their head coach outside of one team, and that is now over as well. Because the reason why the New Orleans Saints had not named their head coach is because they were waiting for the Super Bowl to be over to name that head coach.
Of course.
And that is one, Kellen Christopher Moore.
Very nice.
Kellen Moore, as he was the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, is now the brand new head coach for the New Orleans Saints. Yes, he did play for the Lions. He played for the Cowboys. He was obviously somebody that some Cowboys fans even thought about wanting to have as their OC, as making him transition from OC to head coach. He was the Chargers OC last year. This year, he's got himself a Super Bowl ring, and he is now the head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
That's going to be a nice, interesting story to follow, I will say, because you look at what the Saints have compared to what the Eagles have, and there's a little bit of difference. Now, I will say this. Spencer Rattler might find himself starting some more games going into the upcoming season, just because he's the closest thing that we see to a Jalen Hurts on that team. Now, you don't want to see him just make the exact same move, where this is just going to be the Eagles 2.0 when it comes to their offense, but you are going to see some similarities, and I think that'll be the first thing that we see move is the quarterback position, switching from Derek Carr to Spencer Rattler in the next few years.
Well, and I think that's the part for the New Orleans Saints, where as when you have some teams that are at the very top of the amount of money that they're going to have as far as cap space is concerned to sign players, like right now, the Titans are probably like in the top, maybe the top 10 with like $44 million available. The Patriots are at number 1 with $120 million available. The Raiders are second with $92 million available. And you start going, okay, so what is this when it comes to the potential of Kellen Moore being able to get players in? The Saints, they don't have $120 million. They're actually in the negative, and they are $54 million over.
Yeah, just ride with that the rookie contract for the rest of his time.
Yeah, and so far there's only like a few guys that have big contracts that are going to be kind of leaving. Chase Young, which I had no idea was in New Orleans. Him as well as Juwan Johnson, both of them make up about $25 million of in cap space. They're going to be gone. But then you also have a Derek Carr that's making up a big chunk of yeah. So you got some decisions you're gonna have to be making.
That's what you get for a veteran presence just like that. Also, trying to change that X handle, Joe. It says I'm at a rate limit.
So here's we're working on Baby A, because I say Baby A because you're Baby A at this point in time. We're working on trying to get him to grow up a little bit.
What are you talking about? I already have to have a Twitter. All right.
I know.
That's grown enough.
But see, the problem is that
for my health insurance, Joe, and you didn't even know it.
You know, you're right. I didn't even know. And by the way, speaking of that, I've now gotten 6 phone calls since I muted my phone.
I'm not getting phone calls.
You want some? I know how to get you some.
Mr. Baby Hunk.
I'm just letting you know right now. I know exactly what to do to get that phone ringing over there, and it's not going to be the kind that you like. But his X handle is CPT Cool 420. Now, the 420 is not the reason that you think. It's actually because it's his birthday, April 20th. See?
Looking forward to it.
Which is 9 days before my anniversary.
25 years old.
It is also 8 days after my daughter's second birthday. April's going to be a really fun month on the Blitz. Beginning of May, maybe even more fun. So it's a thing that I've been working on him and trying to get him to change his X handle to something a little bit more adult instead of CPT Cool.
I am Captain Cool and my birthday's on 420. What are you trying to do to me? You trying to change me?
I'm trying to make it look professional so that if we were to say get t-shirts with a new logo on it, it doesn't have CPT Cool 420 like you're a hacker and you and Angelina Jolie are trying to take down the guy in the movie Hackers.
It's a great movie, and we got the Shaggy's in that movie.
It is an amazing movie. It really, really is an amazing movie.
You look like you're from Hackers.
Is
that where the mohawk came from?
No, it isn't. But I actually do love that movie, and I can't lie, I really do. But we're trying to get him an adult X handle, and X is just not working with it. So maybe by tomorrow he will have an adult one. Doesn't matter. Tom Abraham is coming up here in about an hour from right now. Havoc Hour, 6 o'clock at Zambruski. See you there.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked them to do, and both of them have developed nicely, and both of them have consistently made plays.
Wes and Steve.
Their decision making, their judgment, their ability not to force things and take what the defense gives and distribute the ball with good decision making, down in, down out, is probably the only thing that's going to be any different about them, because it's not physical ability or talent. So it's intangibles, leadership, decision-making, judgment, and all those types of things. And, both guys have done a good job in that regard as well.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton each weekday afternoon starting at 5. We are your home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl has a challenge for you.
Be an MVP to a child in need by opening